All right, guys, Grant Training Systems, welcome back. And today we've got a, I think, very cool video with crutches and how to use them. Some very good ways to walk with them, some ways that we don't want to walk with them, and kind of addressing, or I want to address, the way in which we can make sure that they fit us. This will be a bit difficult because I've got the more international European, where if you're coming from North America, States and Canada, you might have the ones that go under the arm. But either way, we're going to go over some very important tips and facts that will get you moving more efficiently, quicker, and in the long run, getting you to need them less and healthier faster. All right, so before we get started, I wanted to say, one, my dog is right behind me, so if you hear any snoring or barking, it's a pug, so I'm sorry, but she's in the background of the video, if you will. And two, this video is in correlation, can I say that, with a blog that I wrote in a program that I have for the knee and ankle. So if you guys have any issues with your knee, your ankle, your hips, you find yourself in crutches, or you just want to read a very cool blog with it, I will have all the links below. But getting right started, let's go ahead and talk about one, the sizing of your crutch. So like I said, I've kind of got the more European international crutch, where if you're coming from North America, you might have the one that goes under the armpit. However, most of them are similar with the fact that if we look on the sides where they usually talk about the height that we should be. So for example, let me just grab a crutch here. So if I were to move this, often that they have a sizing chart here, either in centimeters or inches, where, for example, if you're 5'11", and it says here is the mark for the person that is 5'11", depending on what crutch you have, it's still probably wrong, because these things were made by engineers, and while the engineers really had their heart in the right place, they made a bit of a mistake and they measured them as if they were being measured from here. So if you're 5'11" and you were to put your crutch at the 5'11" mark, and it would be right here, obviously facing forward, it would be perfect for you. However, we don't use our crutches there. We actually want to put our crutches about 6 inches out in front of us and about 3 inches out wide. That is where we want the crutch. It actually makes sense because this would be kind of like our walking pattern, and the crutch, its job is to basically be an extension of our arm and allow us to lean our body weight on the crutches versus our injured ankle, knee, or hip. So depending on the crutch that you have, the main thing that you want to do is just go 6 inches out, 3 to 4 inches out wide, and just make sure it's comfortable. So in this case, I've got these. That means my elbow's got a little bit of a slight bend. The cuff, if you will, is not uncomfortable on my elbow by any chance. And like I said, my elbow is a little bit bent and my hands are in a comfortable spot. Once I have that, I'm able to move forward and continue. All right, so when we walk with our crutches, our goal is to be weight bearing, if you will, as soon as possible. Now, obviously, if you just came out of a knee surgery or an ankle or hip surgery or a foot surgery for that fact, that might be kind of like hard in your mindset, thinking there's no way in hell, but there actually is. So before we go into that, I want to address just the very basic one where we see people with their foot hopefully in front of them, and they're leaning all their weight, body weight on the crutches, and they're kind of doing a swing through gait. This is okay, I guess. You're going to realize in the next exercise or in the next tip that we don't really ever need to do that. But if you are going to do that, just make sure that you keep your foot always in front. This helps us with our body weight, our center of gravity, and also just less injury, because when our foot is behind us, not only is our hamstring bent, but which causes another shortness that we really don't need when we're not able to have proper gait. And gait, just for a side note, is a fancy way of saying walking, basically. The way in which we walk is our gait. But back on point, if our leg is behind us, one, we can't see anything. Two, that's a bit dangerous because it can get stuck on things, like when we're walking through a door or walking over a balcony or getting out of a car. And three, it just causes an excess shortness we don't need in our hamstring. So if you're going to do this gait, Bitte, as we say in German, please always keep your foot in front. However, you don't really need to do that one because that's actually going to slow everything down. The reason a lot of high-level athletes get out of surgery and they move along much quicker is, yes, they have physio every single day, 2 to 3 times often, but they also have these little tips and tricks that we learn in sports physio school that really accelerate the healing, if you will, right? And one huge one is that we have them usually right away. Start with this walking pattern. I'm going to make sure you can see me in both cameras here, where when I step forward, my crutches hit first, but I'm on my heel. So I'm able to do this heel to toe pattern that I would do if I was not injured. However, the cool thing is as I strike my heel down, I can have 100% of my body weight on these crutches. So I'm able to mimic the pattern of a normal gait pattern, but I'm not doing it. So it's a normal heel to toe pattern, but I have absolutely no body weight on the injured leg. This is huge because one, it helps our nervous system relearn what we wanted to do. I can't talk today. Two, it prevents any poor movement in poor movement causing either more injury or bad mobility. So what I mean by that is if we're always kind of turning our leg out because it's just easier to kind of move like that, we're going to get shortness in muscles that we don't need. The entire leg is going to then start bothering the back, and we're going to eventually get more tissue and more injuries and more muscles we have to work on, and more injuries like hip pain if you had a knee injury and low back pain if you had a hip injury. So we really want to help our nervous system out and give it the best technique we're able to do. The other thing on top is we actually have a very cool kind of like muscle pumping clearing system for swelling, but we have to use it. So basically, due to gravity, when we stand for long periods of time and you have an injury in your lower extremity, you might notice that the swelling kind of pulls to the bottom. That's very normal because we're standing, our heart is way up here, and it's very hard to circulate all of that old kind of swelling and stuff out of the injured area. So one thing that we can do is we can kind of use our muscles like a tube of toothpaste. And what I mean by that is when you have very little toothpaste left and you kind of got to squeeze it all the way from the end so it finally comes out, we can do the same thing with the swelling. So as I step down, my muscles start to contract. Well, as I continue to move, you will realize that your foot strikes first, and then it goes all the way up to your shin, if you will, and then to your quad. Well, each time that's happening, the muscles are contracting all the way up, and it's basically acting like a manual pump in pushing that swelling up. So even if you are fresh off the table, a way we say in slang for just out of surgery, and you're not able to put any body weight on that at all, that is okay, because one, you're obviously putting something. If not, you're still going through the motion, so the muscles are still working. And two, you are teaching your nervous system what you want it to do. So what we have noticed, and I'm sure there's studies out there that back all of this up, is if you were to take someone and you were to have them start in this pattern and take somebody else and have them continue like this, not only will person A get where they need to be going much faster, but B, after 1 week, I'm sure, well, we would always see a massive difference, but I'm sure if you Google it with everything you can find, you will notice a massive shortening in the amount of time that the dude that did it like this on the crutches needed his crutches for versus the other one. So basically, in recap, what I'm saying is take your crutches, get them comfortable, start walking like this. Even if you cannot put any weight on the crutch at all, that is okay. Because what you will notice is one, you're going to definitely be faster getting where you need to go. And two, as it starts to get you get a little bit more comfortable with the movement, your leg starts getting a little bit better, and everything starts feeling okay, you will realize that you might go from absolutely 0% of your body weight on your ankle to 5%, to 6%, to 10%. And then pretty soon, you will basically just be walking completely with the crutches, but using almost all of your body weight on your foot. And then you're going to notice you're able to take much longer strides, much longer steps. Always, this is increasing your proprioception within the muscles and also your movement pattern recognition that you need in order to not need the crutches anymore. All right, so this is a huge tip to not only increase your recovery time, if you will, but also to get you from point A to B faster, more efficient, in a safer manner, and to help your body understand what you want to do to prevent future injuries or tightness, and to get you healthy faster and quicker. All right, guys, so thank you for watching the video. Hopefully that made sense. It's wild. As many videos as I have done, sometimes the words just do not come out of my mouth. So hopefully that made sense. If it does not, all the links are below. My website is gtsgermany.com. You can always send me an email. You can comment below. I'm very good with socially engaging with people that have questions. My goal is to not get 1 million views, but actually help people learn how to do what they need to do. So if I can't talk and I'm not clear, that message doesn't get across. So don't be a stranger. Please contact me. And as I already said, I do have other socials. I am really big, hopefully, I guess you would say, on Instagram. I'm really trying to grow my account. So guys, GTS Germany, that is my account. I do cool videos just like this, obviously much shorter. I would love to have you follow me. My goal by the end of the year is to have over 200,000 followers. I'm at like 1,600 right now, so I've got a long way to go. So your support would be huge. And as always, guys, gtsgermany.com. And lastly, free webinar every Thursday, 7 o'clock. If you check out my Facebook page, you can business page at Grant Training Systems, you can always get the link there. But I lecture for 30 minutes on a topic regarding nutrition, movement, mobility, injury rehabilitation, basically everything. If you catch this one before this Thursday, which would be in 2 days, I'll be lecturing on sleep, how we can make it more efficient. And always, after every lecture, I do a question and answer where I'll answer anything you guys have or read the email questions that I get and yeah, just try to really help you guys learn the information that I was able to learn. So I can't talk, so I'm just gonna end this video right now. So guys, thanks so much and have a great day.